It's my very happy privilege at this time to present to you the man that God has raised up and anointed with a dynamic, supernatural, miracle-working ministry, a ministry of commanding faith. A ministry that has let this man speak the word for thousands of people around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, God's man of faith and power, world-famous evangelist, A. Allen.
Yes. God bless you. Listen, how many of you here tonight know that you have a mountain in your life? Raise your hands. A mountain. It may be sickness. It could be disease. It could be infirmity. A mountain could be a backslidden husband or rebellious wife. It could be children that refuse to follow in the footsteps of mother and daddy. A mountain could be a financial problem. A mountain could be a broken heart, a depressed spirit that causes you to be depressed, restless, sleeplessness, aimless wandering. Many of you, and listen, do you know that every other bed in America is occupied by someone who's mentally ill? People by the thousand come into these meetings that have been to the psychiatrist and the medical doctor. Say, Brother Allen, nobody can help me now. Meaning, I've got a mountain that only God can move. There's a lady on the front row with a cancer. That is a mountain. There sits a woman with a goiter. That goiter is a mountain. Look at the people in these wheelchairs, bound to a mountain. A man got a prayer card today for the hearing aid. And he said, I can't hear the explosion of a gun without this hearing aid. He said, one ear is completely deaf. I have a little in this one. My sound is amplified so I can hear you when you talk. That deafness is a mountain. But before this telecast leaves your channel, I am going to pray, and God is going to remove your mountain. Do you believe it? I believe that whosoever, according to the words of Jesus, can have whatsoever. Whosoever can have whatsoever. Whosoever is anyone, and whatsoever is anything in the will of God. Listen to this. Verily I say unto you, this is the 23rd verse of Mark 11, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, an inanimate thing, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his or her heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Not prayeth, but saith. Say this with me. He shall have whatsoever he saith. Shout yes. For whosoever shall have whatsoever. Say, whosoever is me. Whatsoever is my desire. Gene, come with this Miracle Valley Bible College choir and sing, God specializes. Have you got any mountains? Have you got any rivers? God tonight is going to cause every mountain to disappear. And this great song they're singing is on this great album of Gene Martin's. Gene Martin Sings You Happy, pressed on pure vinyl, will play almost an hour in your home. About a dozen of the greatest songs on pure unbreakable vinyl, pressed here in our own record factory at Miracle Valley. And it's yours for your letter this week. Just ask for Gene Martin Sings You Happy.
And he will do you any river that you think uncrossable, and have you any mountain that you cannot come through. I want you to know that God, I come to tell you that God, I come to tell you that God specializes in things that are impossible, and He will do what none other power can do. I say, God, specialize in
In the 11th chapter of St. Mark, Christ had come from Bethany. He was hungry. He saw a fig tree, but there was no fruit thereon. And Jesus cursed that fig tree with a few words. But they that had followed him and they that had witnessed and enjoyed his ministry did not believe the words he spake to the fig tree. The reason they failed to believe that anything had happened when he cursed the fig tree was because immediately they saw no outstanding immediate miracle. If immediately the fig tree had withered and shrunk and fell over sideways like a man shot, they would have said, "Oh, look, something's happened." But nobody believed anything had happened because they couldn't see any evident sign of God's power in action. But it was there. It was there because Jesus had spoke the word. And again and again and again he declared, "The words I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life," according to John 6:63. And every time Jesus spoke words, something happened. Amen. Even his worst enemies declared that no man ever spake like this man. They declared that even the sea and the winds obey him. Amen. He spoke to the dead, and his words became life. He said, "Lazarus, come forth." Amen. In the first chapter of Jonah, he called to a fish, and a fish can no longer stay in the bottom of the ocean. Amen. In 1 Kings 17, he talked to ravens. And even told the man of God, he said, "I have commanded the ravens there to sustain thee." And the ravens heard his voice. and found meat and bread for a man, and brought him meat and bread every morning, and brought him meat and bread every night. When he spoke, the raging billows became as calm as glass. And his enemies were amazed and astounded and said, "Look, no man ever spake like this man." But wherever he spoke, blind eyes were opened, lepers were cleansed, the cripple leaped and ran like an hart. Issues of blood were stopped immediately because there was power in his words. Jesus himself said, "The words I speak unto thee, they are spirit, and they are life." And in the 8th chapter of Matthew, a centurion came to him who had a servant that was dying. And he told him the condition the servant was in. Jesus said, "I will come to